Hey, what's up guys? I have a new knife review for you today. Today we're taking a look at this Benchmade model 707 sequel. I believe this is called the sequel because I think this is the second version of the 705. If you guys remember a little bit back, there was a Benchmade model 705 and also a McHenry and Williams design. See in the back here, the stamp. These are the designers. It's Bill McHenry and Jason Williams. It's a father and stepson duo or team. They have a lot of great knives. The 705 was the first, not the very first, but one of the first Benchmades I've ever owned personally, and I love that knife. I believe this is called the sequel because it's basically a different version of that with the user feedback from Benchmade customers and people who own the knives. They gave the feedback of what they wanted, some changes they wanted to see in the 705. The biggest change being the blade, okay? It's a shorter blade, but it's also wider, and the blade profile changed. It's not quite as slender as the original, as the 705. This one also has more of a spear point type tip with that heavy swedge. Okay, this is a modified clip point, but it almost has like a skewed spear point blade. All right, so it aids in the penetration. There's a slight bit of belly on here. The 705 was a little bit more of a straightened edge. All right, obviously different handle configuration. We have aluminum with G10 inserts. I'll talk about that in a little bit here. But you know, fantastic design. I think this is one of the best representations, at least from Benchmade, for a true EDC knife. So let me explain that a little bit. Anyone who's new to that term, EDC standing for everyday carry. Now, what do we really want in an EDC blade? We want versatility. We want something, in this case, that's plain. But plain is good. You know, it doesn't have extreme design characteristics. It doesn't have an extreme handle. It doesn't have some crazy hawkbill blade or something. This blade style is very versatile. The definition, in my opinion, of an everyday carry knife is a knife you're going to use for a variety of tasks. If you have a specific job or occupation where you're going to need a specific type of cutting tool for that job, you know, to best perform for whatever task you need it for, that would be a job-specific knife, okay, or a task-specific knife. An everyday carry knife is something that you don't know what you're going to use for. Okay, you don't have anything specific in mind. It's just a general purpose knife. And this is a great design for that. This is also on the smaller size. Some specs on here. The blade, again, being a modified clip point, 2.95 inches. We're talking 154 cm in this blade, just like a lot of the different Benchmade models. I'm a huge fan of 154 cm. In some cases, I even prefer it over an S30V. But it's just really easy to sharpen. It's very, very versatile and does hold an edge for a very long time. This has plenty of use on it. I haven't stropped this up in probably at least 3 or 4 days. You can see it's nice and sharp. Now, I've talked to this before, but cut demonstrations are not a good representation of how sharp a knife is out of the box. Obviously, this knife is well used. I've sharpened this before. What you just saw may be sharper than what it was brand new, or it may not be as sharp as it was when it was brand new. So the only purpose of me doing that is just for entertainment. But I can tell you 154 cm holds a very decent edge, and it takes a very nice edge. So I am a huge fan of 154 cm. So anyway, handle material is an aluminum, and there's G10 inserts on this. Now, I've talked about this before in very old videos. I'm not sure exactly which ones, so I'll say it again right now. But I'm not a huge fan of knives with inserts just because it's a possibility for that insert to eventually pop out. But I've never once seen a case where 707 had any kind of issues with these G10 inserts. Whatever kind of bonding agent or epoxy they're using in these is perfect. They don't fall out, they don't get loose, it works great. I personally don't see it being necessary in the design. Obviously the reason behind it is just a little bit of grip. When your hand and fingers wrap around, that's where they're going to end up, okay? The texture on here is actually fairly smooth. I don't think it offers any grip at all. I mean, it's if anything, just aesthetics, perhaps. But it's also on the reverse. Okay, you can see it underneath the pocket clip there. This knife, the pocket clip is reversible, so obviously they're going to have it on both sides, depending on how you want to present this, right hand or left hand carry. As you can see here by the pocket clip, it is only tip up as far as carry options, but it is reversible for left or right hand to carry. Another thing I could say about this knife in particular is that this has the smoothest axis lock of any Benchmade I've ever had. It is buttery smooth. There is a perfect lockup every single time. No blade play in any direction. It's ridiculous. This is a great, perfect representation of how an axis lock should be. Now, of course, you'll see this mimicked on different types of brands. You know, a lot of the Chinese knives will mimic an axis lock, and it's a very similar design, but no one's perfected it like Benchmade. Benchmade has created it, and they know how it's done properly. Even compared to this mini Griptilian, this is pretty smooth, but I mean it's nothing like the 707. This thing is just exactly what you want it to be. It's beautiful. By the way, since I have this out, let's compare these size-wise. Almost identical in size. Okay, obviously different blade shape and so forth, but if you do like a mini grip for an EDC blade for just specifically its size and function, you will also like the 707. You will also notice that it's a thinner profile. Let me give you this shot. Might represent that a little bit better. Okay, so not quite as chunky as the mini Griptilian. But anyway, just wanted to just mention that this axis lock is perfect. It is literally the best I've ever had, and I have had a variety of different Benchmade models with the axis lock. McHenry & Williams, they're a great team. They have a lot of great designs. Besides the 707, I also love the 710. Again, it's classic Benchmade design. If you like the Griptilians because of the axis lock, but maybe you don't like the extra heft or chunk that they offer, you know, with this synthetic handle material that they have, this may be another option you like. As far as ergonomics, it feels very good in the hand. The only thing that's lacking to me, of course, is having the full 4-finger grip. For an EDC knife that I'm going to be using often, I do like a 4-finger grip. All right. To compare this with another knife I'm going to be reviewing very soon is the Spyderco Delica. Now this happens to be a wave version, but it represents the size of all Delicas. Now you can see very similar size knife. Now comparing these two, you'll notice that the cutting edge on the 707 is longer, okay, even though the blade is about the same size. The cutting edge is slightly longer on the 707, about the same belly, same curvature. The tip is roughly the same as far as how acute they are. But the Spyderco offers a full 4-finger grip, much more ergonomic, even up here with the thumb ramp. Really fits the hand just wonderfully. Whereas this is more general purpose, and it comes a little bit short with grip. Okay, that pinky, again, leaves something to be desired. You'll also notice that this does not have any kind of lanyard hole. So if that was an issue for you, and you wanted that 4-finger grip, this is something you have to have. This knife won't work for you because you can't even add a lanyard to fulfill that empty space or that void where your pinky is. I can tell you from use, it's not a huge deal. It's maybe not my preference. This is a much more comfortable knife to use, you know, long term, but to break it out real quick to cut something, it really hasn't been a problem. It's a minor detail, but it is something I wanted to mention because it's something I did notice. As far as the weight on this, we're talking 2.6 ounces. You really don't notice it. In fact, I believe the Delica is 2.5 ounces with the FRN. All right, we have liners in here, but they are skeletonized. You can see the shadows in there, top and bottom. So even though we have steel liners, stainless liners, we have T6 aluminum handles, and then little pieces of G10, 2.6 ounces. So it really gets lost in your pocket. Again, something that a lot of people consider with an EDC blade is the weight. So I don't think you'll be disappointed as far as the weight on this one. I talked to the pocket clip before. I love this design of Benchmade's pocket clip. It's my favorite just for function. It seems to work the best. Two huge hits on this knife. As far as, I don't really want to say, I guess it's durability. The knife's gonna function forever. It's never gonna break on you unless you abuse it. But when I say durability, I'm really talking about finishes. This pocket clip finish, it's basically a flat, almost Parkerized type finish. It is by far the worst finish ever on any knife. It is so delicate, it scratches so easily and wears so easily. This knife looks like I've been carrying it for like 2-3 years, and it's nowhere near that much carry on this knife, but it wears so easily. All right, I mean, if I take my fingernail, here's my finger, okay? I kind of scratch it and rub it, you can see the black. You should not be able to remove a coating on anything that easily. So it is a very fragile coating, okay? In addition to that, the aluminum, the T6 aluminum on here is also very soft. So it does not take much to get little nicks in them, okay? You can see here the wear on the corners. And some on the back here. So it's just, as far as the finish is concerned, has really nothing at all to do with the function of the knife. But if you're one of those people out there that just has OCD or just really is bothered by scratches and nicks, this may not be the one for you. So overall though, I have to say it is still one of my favorite EDC knives of all time. Definitely I would say in my top 10 for its size. All right, having just under a 3-inch blade, this is going to be beneficial for a lot of you guys. A lot of different states across the US, you have that 4-inch blade length limit, and in other states you also have that 3 inches or less blade length limit. So coming in at 2.95 inches, you're going to be able to have this legally in more places than not. So it's a little more versatile as far as that's concerned. Price on these, this one I got from Blade Ops, and they're charging $136 for it. I think it's a pretty good price. It's going to be the average price. I've seen these as low as like $115 on Amazon before, and I've seen them as high as maybe $137, $138. They don't get much higher than that unless you're really just shopping way out, like, I don't know, some outdoor store or something. But you want to stick with obviously your knife retailers. But you know, for the price tag, $136, you're definitely opening up a lot of variety, a lot of choices out there as far as a knife that may be good for EDC. In this package, this size, I still think this is one of the best. It has always been a great knife. This is the second one that I've personally owned. And like I said, just buttery smooth, locks up solid every time. 154 cm will definitely work just fine for you. Carries very well in the pocket, it's lightweight, and it's slim. You really can't get much better than that. Again, my only downsides with this would be the finishes, scratches up easily. I personally don't care. This is a review, so I'm mentioning it. Me, doesn't bother me one bit. I really can care less. I prefer the tip up, although it's not a deal breaker if it is tipped down, so that's good. A lot of you guys will like that as well. And the blade style is very versatile for an EDC style blade. So I'm very happy with it. You have enough of a point on here for penetration. Again, that heavy swedge or wider swedge will aid in that. Taking off that metal in the front, of course, creates less resistance cutting into, or poking into something, I should say. You know, we're talking about penetration. And as far as slicing, it's middle of the road. You don't have a lot of belly. You don't have that extreme hawkbill blade, you know, so it's not going to be the best slicer, but it's certainly going to be adequate for most of what you need. As long as you keep your knife nice and sharp, we'll never have a problem. So anyway, that's the 707 sequel. I am a big fan of all the McHenry and Williams designs. I think they're a great little duo, and they come up with some cool stuff. Like I said, the 710 was a favorite for a long time, and the 705 was one of my first Benchmades that I really loved. So once again, size comparison. The bottom here is a Delica, Spyderco Delica, and then we have the Mini Griptilian on top. So they're all very comparable as far as size. So there you go. That's my review. I'm sticking to it. I love the knife. I always will love the knife, and I will be reviewing this one very, very soon. Between these two, it's a tough choice. You get more cutting performance in this one in a smaller package, but I just love the wave feature on this and the full 4-finger grip. So we'll talk more about that in this review. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Take care.